Sirius Energy presents Masters of Empowerment this Saturday, 7th of April at the Lighthouse, 262 Camberwell Road, London SE5 0DL, from 6 p.m. to midnight. Direct from the USA, powerhouse psychologist Dr. Umar Johnson. Direct from JA, Mr. Stepping Razor, Muta Baruka, saluting our ancestors, Edison Abanji. Heavyweight hosting and edutainment by Leo Mohammed. Music by Ras Digby of Suggestus and Sir Kells. Tickets £25 in advance from SiriusTickets.com. That's SIRIUS tickets.com or call 07506 725 345. Don't forget, this coming Saturday, 7th of April.
Edison, we're going to get to you, Shani. Jammers wants to say something quickly. Go on,
I think I've got one solution right now.
Go on.
Use all of that and let's create an army. Create an army, create levels of ranks, you know, take them out there, learn them to take them on courses where they can go and shoot the guns and whatever, but use that to better the community. So let's use this aggression and create our own police force to police ourselves.
Well, we don't, you know, it's in the villages of back in Africa, there's not police, not like this.
Not like this,
People respected energy and didn't need it. So us lot as a violent people taking up guns to fight another people with guns, I do respect it on a level, but you see the kids turning it on themselves because the people that have real power and the ones we should be angry at are not visible. You're not going to see the one who's putting that psychological program in. You're only going to see someone enforcing it. And if you kill him, the source is still there, just bringing out new ones they can pay to fight you. So you have to get behind whoever's there and get to the real people that are causing it.
Right, we're going to go to Shani.
Okay.
Shani. Oh, Natural Mystic. Sorry, this is a bit mad at the moment. Blessings, King.
Yes, family.
Yeah, are you coming in or?
I'm outside.
All right, give me a couple of minutes, yeah?
All right, no problem.
Okay. Right, we've lost Shani. Sorry, that's why if you use technology in the right way, yeah? Sister Shani.
Here, I'm here.
Ah, wicked.
But listen.
Go on.
You see those? Yeah. Let me tell you. I know like my youth, them and like nieces and nephews, I say, when Christmas, I don't celebrate it, but birthday, Christmas, what kind of games are they buying the youths from little? Yeah? Wow, gone, stabbing. Am I lying? These video games, yeah? We're buying the youths, it's like a norm. So I watch these youths, I thought, wow, look at that. They're killing me, stabbing. And I'm looking at their little faces. So what are we indoctrinating in them from little? Right,
so Shani, very quickly, I'm going to add to that, yeah? I've said to a parents come to me and said, oh, my son wants this game. The first thing I said is, what is the age? And it had 18 plus, one of them Call of Ops or whatever. I said to her, he's 11 years old. I said to her, don't buy it. You know what she said to me? All of his friends have got it. About 2 months after that, she's phoned me up and said he's not going to bed at night. He's becoming very aggressive. He's not listening, and all these other things. Right, Shani, I've got to cut you off, and I hope on Monday we can do a thing.
Monday we're going to do our thing, yeah.
Right, and thank you very much for your time. We've got Natural Mystic coming into the studio, right? And I've got to give Black People Giving a call. We have Edison on the line, who will be with Umar Johnson and Muta Baruka. Where will that be, Jammers? Where will that be?
That's going to be at the...
Sorry.
That's going to be at the Lime... Is it the Limehouse in Camberwell?
Camberwell.
Is that right, Edison? You give the address. You got your more...
What's that?
The address for Saturday.
The address for Saturday.
I'm going to be there, but then it's going to be at the Lighthouse. Where was it? One sec. Camberwell Road. Forgive me, I was there.
It's got to be SC something. SC20. No. C. It's quite.
No, it's SC5, isn't it?
Yeah, because C is nearing the alphabet. I worked in the post office, so I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
My brother, you're welcome to stay on the line. I'm just going to call up someone else.
Okay, no problem.
Because any little bit of input. So that's where I'm going to start. You're going to go in your... I'm going to tell a mother, go in your son's room, look at all of these games he plays online, and if it's not age appropriate for his age, get rid of it. That's where I'm gonna start. Yeah.
In all honesty, you have to appreciate this is conditioning, though. These games, Call of Duty, look, there's no reason, there's no accident that when you bring TVs into an area, yeah, you have an area where there's no TVs. You bring TVs into an area, then you're starting showing them all these American black gangsters, get rich, die hard trying, and all this kind of thing. And then you're getting these kids to believe that life is a hustle. As I know Jammer was saying it the other day on another show, but the fact that they've got to bend the laws or go against their community in order to survive. And you got these kids now in the gangs or what have you. I was seeing this WhatsApp thing saying they got a number system where they're giving points for certain acts that they do and things like that. It's a game to them. They're still in the game console. They're not appreciating the ramifications that's down the road. But you're asking children to make adult decisions because they're aggressive.
Wow.
You know how it is in the old days, we wouldn't say nothing against our parents. I would never shout against my mum.
Listen, my mum could look at me.
Clap in my face.
I tell anyone, my mum could look at me and make me cry, you know. I know that's the licks look. Yeah?
That's it. So you know what's coming.
Yeah, I know what's coming. My mum's beat me in the school playground. I'm not trying to put her down as some abuser. Yeah, but the man I am today, sorry Edison, the man I am today is my mother. Yeah.
Look, my friend, it's that. But then now it's a case where the parent isn't bringing up the kids. That is the TV or those games conditioning the child to make them believe that it's okay to be violent or you need to be a certain way in order to survive. And we're not at urban war. There's no wars in the estates other than the ones that you create. Because after you win the war, what do you own? You don't own anything. You could fight to knock everyone out, kill everyone, and then you own what? A patch of turf to do rubbish?
You know what, Edison? I've got another guest in the studio. Natural Mystic. I know his uncle. I've heard his dad speak. And when he turned up at Seven Sisters, just briefly, it's Conscious Radio. We got 80 minutes away from 9 UK time, Thursday the 4th of April. 2018, the Ital and Vital breakfast, breakfast. Yeah, my voice is hoarse. I've been eating the honey like mad, some proper honey, not no sweet up, artificial sugar. The local honey man, he's a black honey beehive beekeeper. Yeah, real stuff. Anyway, yeah, I'm here to talk about recent incidents. Usually on a Thursday, it's full up of UK music, but this is more important, but I'm on the action. So we met up, and as I said, this is spirituality. I was going to meet Darren, then I met Rash Ranger. He said this is going on. We ended up there. They weren't going to walk. They decided to walk. But before they decided to walk, there was a big reasoning on the corner, as I said, organised by G.A.N.G, guiding the new generation. And there was, for me, prominent figures of our community. A Natural Mystic, although being a young man to me, he's older than me. Okay, and he said a couple of things that really stood out. Really, I'm like, wow, we can start in our home. We all have a nephew or a niece or a second cousin or the young boy down the road. You watched him grow. You know he's a road youth. We can start with him. Another point that he said, glorifying bad man in dance because he's buying out the bar, but he's got a gun in his pocket and he's prepared to shoot that gun. So I want to bring in, sorry Edison, I have to bring in Natural, me get some energy today, let's see. From these, I've had Shao Shani, live from Mandeville in Jamaica. I've got Natural Mystic, I've got Jammers, I've got Edison on the line, and hopefully we're going to get black people giving on the line. Welcome, brother. King. King.
Let me first apologize for being on my phone. I'm just trying to let the people know I'm here, and also I did let you know I got a little family outing later as well. So I'm just
I just appreciate love that. I told you, even if it's 5 minutes.
Yeah. Now I'm here. You put out the call, so I definitely had to roll out and be here. But you know, my thing is this: that the call was put out. I received a phone call not too long before I got there, asking me to be there because, you know, we're taking to the streets. And if you know anyone that knows me, I'm not into marching.
Neither am I, brother.
I've been doing this marching thing and seeing the marching thing from, as we say, my idea, my knee. So often I've grown up and realized that the marching thing is more of a posing thing, to say that I was there. Most people go home, they put on EastEnders, they go home, they put on the TV, they put on Real Housewives of Atlanta, and it's all good because we've had a good march. And we feel good that we've had a good march.
I like that. And then they go home and watch.
Yeah, the same foolishness. You get me? So my thing is, the call was put out by young people. I asked, my first question was, it's my usual question when it comes to marching. What's the process? Like, what we doing? What's going to come from this? And the reason why I got up and went, because the honest response that I got was, I don't know, but we got to do something.
And that's how I kind of said it. I heard there's a reasoning going on.
And I said,
didn't know about no marching.
Right. So when I got there, and I see the man them on the side of the road, just reasoning. And I see young people walking. As I got there, I saw young people getting off the bus, looking to see what I got. I said, you know what?
The young people. That's what grabbed me.
I said, you know what? Like, these people are just standing around, just watching. There were some people at the bus stop just watching what was going on. Young people. And some of them thought that there was arms house going on. And they realized, you know what, these men are reasoning. Then we started calling some of the young people and the reasoning kicked off. Now, what I liked is that...
Hold on, Brad, I'll stick up in. Even the white people was joining up and listening.
Exactly. And you know what? Let me make this point before I go on, because I want to... I'm a Pan-Africanist and I'm a Garveyite. That's where I come from.
Can you explain briefly what a Pan-Africanist and a Garveyite is, please?
A Pan-Africanist is an individual whose concern is the liberation and unification of African people worldwide. Wherever we see our African people, we're concerned about their well-being and their liberation. So we're domiciled in England. This is where our fight is. But there's a fight taking place in France, there's a fight taking place in Portugal, there's a fight taking place on the continent, in the Caribbean, in America. Africans deal with Pan-Africanists deal with the unification of African people worldwide. And as a Garveyite, we follow the legacy of who we call in my organization, the Alkebulan Revivalist Movement.
Say that again, please.
My organization.
No, the name of it.
The Alkebulan Revivalist Movement. Alkebulan being the oldest name on historical record for the African continent.
Sorry, how old are you?
30. I was 30 in October.
Remember I said to you, yeah, that he's older than me. He's 1 year older than my daughter. How long have you...
I was born into this, and this is one of the points that I was making, is that a lot of these youths weren't born into anything. I was born into this. So I've been through parts of my life where I've been a bit wayward. But the foundation that was set, I always had something to go back to.
Did you hear that, listeners? The foundation that was set. Continue, brother.
If you build a house, yeah, and the foundation is strong.
Basics.
But the sides and the roof and everything is not great. The roof might cave in, but the foundation is set. You can build another roof. If your foundation of the house is flawed, no matter how great the roof is or how great the windows are, that house is never going to maintain itself. So your foundation has to be set. Enough of these youths saying had no foundation. And when I say this, and this is what concerns me, is that I say certain things and people are more concerned about what I say rather than the issues that are actually going on. So I say my generation is a product of a generation who failed us. We've been failed. I was going to school and my dad was up at my school every day, not because of me.
What's your father's name?
Most people know him as Brother Leader Bandaka.
And who's your uncle?
Baba El Numero Uno.
Okay.
And the joke is a lot of people don't even know their brothers. Same mum, same dad.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You get me? Their parents are my grandparents. So I've grown up, and so when I take the dancehall seriously and I take the conscious community seriously, I've grown up in both.
Right.
That's why I can exist in both. But the upbringing that I've had won't allow me to go to a certain level and to a certain extent. But when you fight against it, you receive more backlash people fighting against it. There are people there are elders who are more angry with me for looking at them and saying, you failed my generation. They're more angry with me than they are angry about what's happening in the street.
Because I admitted it to you, didn't I?
Exactly.
I kept saying it.
And even when I was saying certain things, I'm apologizing to you and saying, I'm not even talking about it. You're saying, no, you don't even have to say that.
I told you that, innit?
You said
Let's
that
be
to
real.
me. And I'm saying that, and this is what I have to respect. And this is why when you put the call out to me, because you remember I never really, I was like, I had a lot of things going on yesterday. So I never got back to you till nearly midnight.
No, but hear this one. I got your number about 7 o'clock. When did I message you? Late in the night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm like, right, my man's messaged me. See, this is another thing when we talk about food and spirituality. I had about 1.5 hours sleep. Yeah, and I'm full of energy, and not just what I've eaten, but the energy that's via phone from Mandeville in Jamaica, and the energy in this room. I feel that when I leave here, I'm gonna float in the sky. Yeah, that's how strong I feel now within. Edison.
Yes.
My brother. Did you hear the powers of this young man?
Yes, look, that's someone that's been brought up with, you know what they said about foundation? Try and think of the foundation of the youths by what have been given to them, by their education, by their school, by the society, by the media. You're trying to rock their foundation. So this young man obviously has had people that instructed him otherwise.
Isn't it awesome,
strong
Edison?
Sense of self.
Doesn't he sound awesome?
Sorry?
Doesn't he sound awesome?
Of course. And they're the guys that are going to speak to the young. Because of the gap in generations, the young are going to look like, you old people, you failed us. But they're not sure what we should have done for them. They only know that they're not in a position where they can excel because we haven't actually provided that environment for them. We're too busy worried about surviving, not looking that our children were dying.
You know the joke is though, if you go on the corner and go into the estate and reason with young people, you'll realize I'm not that special. Most of them can reason. Most of them will hold a discussion with you and tell you exactly what's going on. Most of the people that are on the road doing this madness, they can hold a reason with you and they can discuss politics.
I agree with that.
They can discuss what's going on in the ends.
Highly intelligent.
Highly intelligent. So intelligence isn't the issue here. There's something that's happening that's causing these young people to be where they are. And I'm saying is they've been failed.
Yeah.
You live in Tottenham. Tottenham is a very, and it's a word that I can never say. What do they call it? Is it gentrification? Gentrified area.
Gentrified area.
Yeah. The Jews are there in force. There's young people that are killed by stray bullets. Why am I? You don't really hear of a Jew being killed by a stray bullet. If you walk up and down on the street and you see Jews walking up and down the street at 1 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Man,
11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah. So I know Stamford Hill. A 2-year-old girl can walk down to, Stamford Hill and no one's going to trouble her.
They're on the bus very late at night, the young Jewish girls, very late at night.
They're allowed to go in total peace. Those guys have shut down that area. If you wanted an example of how to control the area, watch the Jews in Stamford Hill.
Yeah, they've got their own ambulance, their own police.
When a Jew...
Own ambulances. That's how deep it is.
And their money goes around in their community quite a few times.
They've got all their schools along the road and in the background, and they're practicing a religion that they own. And they can put the mandates of how people behave under that religion. So everyone has a conscience, which is a spiritual one, or their version of it. But
you know what?
We don't have no conscience.
And you know
they're working. Our conscience is money. That's our God.
and what you're bringing up there, bro, is a serious issue. Yeah, is that when your God doesn't look like you, when your God is a reflection of somebody else, but that person is your oppressor, you can't defeat them. Yeah. You can't defeat who you see as God. And I'm saying people, and when we're talking about solution, people want to talk in the here and now? How can we stop the youth them killing each other? And I'm saying no, there's deeper issues that we have to deal with. It's not a simple thing as how can we stop the youth them killing each other? How can we get into the youth them into their mind? How can we get into their psyche? And what I said when we was on the road as well, when you look at Jamaica, every time a new Rasta reggae artist comes out and begins to top the charts in Jamaica, the crime rate drops. This is evidence.
That's interesting.
When Buju Banton and Capleton and them turned Rasta in the late 80s, early 90s, yeah, what happened? Beanie Man and Barty Killers War became the order of the day. But the crime rate had dropped, yeah? A bit later on, when Sizzler took over the road,
yeah,
Merciless came out, and then Merciless and Barty Killer had their big war, yeah? More recently, Chronics came out. The crime rate dropped when Chronics came out. And then all of a sudden, you see a resurgence of Vibes Cartel, Alkaline, Movado. The Gully and Gaza thing gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah?
What, so, is that how it is now? I'm not really...
right now, the music is a total mess.
All right, let me just say something. My barber, Ike, Ike's been cutting my hair from he was about 18 years of age. I've never been to one of his birthday Red Cup Kingpin, so I've decided to go. So at the beginning, I heard Dennis Brown and Luciano. Then all these tables started coming out, and my right hand, Valley, he's a big man, but he likes his dancehall music. So I'm like, how much is that bottle of drink? So I'm there thinking, I don't drink alcohol, but if I went to the off license, I could buy 4 of them. So, however, the tables are out, the drinks buying, then this music came on. And all I was remembering is, as a youth, when I watch a movie and someone's standing in the room and the room's spinning like they're somewhere else, I felt so out of place. I just felt out, and I can't even understand what they're saying, but obviously all the people in this room knew this song, and it's a big song. I know music, but certain music, if it's got...
But Stevie, let me tell you this, as a young DJ, I know the music.
Okay.
There's certain tune I don't play.
Okay.
There's certain songs and there's certain tune that I do play, but there's certain songs that take it to an extent, and I'm not going there. That's me, yeah? No one don't love dancehall the way I love dancehall. Yeah. Grown up in it. Love the thing. But there's certain extents that I'm not going to. There's certain places that I go and I feel uneasy. Okay. And like I said, I don't fear no one. That's why I talk the way that I do. When I go on the radio, I'll say certain things, I'll call out certain things. And when I go to a dance, I go alone. So if somebody wants to confront me about something that I've said, confront me. I don't mind. I was in a dance weekend gone, and I felt uneasy.
Okay.
I felt just the general vibe. When you look at the man them in there, you're thinking anything can pop off at any moment. And I'm saying is, the issue of the dance thing, and this is what I'm saying, and we have to understand certain things as well. And I don't want anyone to believe that I'm condoning drugs when I say this. But every people, wealth has been formed off of drugs. This is fact. When you look at Europeans, you look at the Italians, when you look at the French, when you look at the Dutch, how their wealth has been generated, it's either been through the exploitation of other people or through drugs. Look at the Chinese, are one of the biggest players in the drugs trade. The Koreans, the Japanese, drugs. But you can't name one Japanese drugs lord. You can't name them.
This is how the English made their money.
Exactly. But what they've done is they had their drugs trade and they invested that and created wealth. Yeah? Now, the idea of this dancehall thing where people are going to parties and they're spending their money and spending big money.
And throwing it over my hard money.
But even with that, if it was on the basis of group economics, they had a thing called Party Partner, round robin, where every week somebody else is keeping a dance. You're all going out and supporting, you're all going out and spending money.
What's happened to them?
Exactly. But this is the point that I'm making. When it comes to group economics, that's what's come out of dancehall. When it's just become a money-making scheme rather than a group economic scheme. Okay. How many years has dancehall been kept in this country and black people don't own one club? We're complaining about we don't have no venues. Why don't we have a venue? Because the amount of money that's been spent in dancehall since this year's been started, we could have bought a venue if we really wanted one. from the 70s till now, with all the sound systems from then till now, and dancehall don't have one venue to speak of
that they own.
Yeah, you've got every banqueting suite owned by the Asian community. They never had that when they came here. They never had that 20 years ago, and they rave and party as much as we do. But when they rave and they party, they buy stuff. You have an obligation in the Asian community to invest in the Asian community. If not, you're ostracized. Simple as that.
Yeah, I just want to bounce off what you said. I was with a Caribbean owner. He's been in the business for about, say, 30 years. And what you notice, the reason why their shops are popping up everywhere and they've got food all over the place is because their mind is still in their motherland. So when they're making the money here, they're taking the money back to the motherland, getting the food from there, bringing it here, buying one house. They're all living out, so they've got their mindset still in the motherland. Our mindset is over here. So when we get the money, we're not investing it back in the motherland. We're spending it in this.
But then look at Jammers. Look what you said about the house. Where I was watching this Indian program where they would say that all the children would go out, earn their money, and then give it to the father. They would all make enough money and then buy the eldest a house. Then they would carry on, and by the time they finish, all the man's children have got a house by everyone pulling their money together and buying each one a house.
You know,
we don't think like that because we're not joined by anything.
You know how we think?
Joined by our color. That's not going to color us. You see, we're still making out this black thing and having it like in some way we can actually have some identification with each other.
You know,
you got the African community where there's some places where they got their schools doing their thing still separately. You know, we have to find a way which we're going to identify ourselves under a common banner that everyone trusts. Yeah,
this is one of the issues, though, is finding that common banner.
What?
One of the issues is finding that common banner, and
the kids.
And what one of the issues is that you've got a section that's Christian, a section that's Muslim. You got the socialist, the Pan-Africanist, and when it comes to coming together for a common goal, we're not very good at that. But I just want to pick up on what you're talking about, the house thing as well. Yeah, we have something that exists in our community that doesn't exist in anybody else's community. Where to this day I hear people saying, "I can't wait till they're 18 so they can get out of my house." Get out of my house and go where? See, you see what I'm saying? We're looking at these long, far-reaching solutions
and that's been
to
around
these
for
issues, but the stuff that's on our doorstep, we don't want to address. And this is part of the issue, that we don't want to address what's on our doorstep. You know why? Because if we do that, we have to question ourselves. We want to question everybody else's kids out the road. We don't want to question ourselves. And until we question ourselves, we're complaining that there's 14 and 15 and 16-year-olds out on the street after 8 o'clock at night. And I'm saying, well, it's their holidays. They're supposed to be allowed to be out at 8 o'clock during their holidays. Our question should be, why have we not created nothing for them to do at 8 o'clock on their holidays? Why should a child at 15 be locked up in their house?
It honestly, it's like you said, we haven't created anything for them to move on. All of those people have businesses for the children to move up to. You said you saw the boy at 15 with running in the gangs. By his older, there was a shop opportunity for him to move into, so he could change that lifestyle. We're not creating that.
I know you that a white dude that I went to school with the other day. Now this is a man, he never got good grades in school. He's a bit of a rogue, he's a bit of a larger-lout. He goes out on the weekends, he has a drink, he goes to watch football matches. That's the way he lives his life.
Okay.
Both his grandparents recently died.
Okay.
This guy's now a millionaire.
Yeah.
2-point-something million pounds he was left. Inheritance. No, 2-point-something million plus a property.
Okay.
This is a guy who's done nothing but drink beer since he left school.
And go to football.
And go to football matches. And he's now a millionaire. No, but what I'm saying is there's a lot of Asians and other communities, they invest in their children. Why is it we have a mentality amongst us? When you listen to the artists, they say, oh, I want to buy my parents a house. I want to buy my mum a house, or I want to buy my mum a car, or whatever. And I'm saying is, that's all well and good. But if I make a money tomorrow, I want to buy my children some property. I want to invest in my children. And I know If I made some money tomorrow, I went to buy my mama house, my mama gonna say, have you sorted out the kids? Wow. Are the children sorted out? Wow. We don't invest in our future. It looks good to go on a song and say, yeah, I made my first meal and I bought my mama house. But what do your children have? How is that passing on through the generations now? Every person, and I'm sorry I'm taking up a lot of time in it.
No, you're taking up no time.
Every person that I know, yeah, where they come from, they have property where they come from. Directly, I come from Jamaica and Antigua. My family still has property over there. Last time I was in Jamaica, I'm talking to my friends and I'm going to areas where they're from. And I'm looking at their land and their property that their family own that had no one has touched for the last 20, 30 years.
It's just there.
Yeah? Just laying there. And what you said about people they focus on back home. I don't believe there's any Asian that I know who's got property or land back where they come from that no one in trouble for 20 years. So we have no direct connection to where we come from because our parents didn't instill that in us. We have no connection to here because while we're here, they make it pretty clear you're not one of us unless you can run fast or you can kick a ball in the back of the net. You're not one of us. Yeah? We don't have a connection to anywhere. Yeah. So what do we call home? Our postcode. Every person, every individual wants to be associated with somewhere because as people, innately, we associate with land. Yeah? So you're proud to be Jamaican because of the land of Jamaica and the culture that comes from that. That's what you're proud of. You're proud to be Nigerian because of what comes from that land, what that land produces. The land produces the culture, everything comes from that land.
Okay.
The spiritual essence of that land is what produces what comes from it.
Okay.
Yeah? So you don't have any because your parents taught you, oh, you're British. But then when you went out there, you realised very quickly you're not British.
I've realised at this grand old age, well, I'm not that old, 55 years, it's not for me.
Exactly. So then when we're in situations like that now, the only place these young people can call home is their postcode.
Okay.
And we don't understand the psychology of what our young people are going through. This is my turf.
It's the Royal Mail that owns the postcode.
But they feel they own it.
Are we giving an alternative psychology? Or are we leaving it for someone else to educate our kids? Because
that's the question.
With something different, they're creating their own psychology. It's weak, but it's what a child would create.
But Uncle,
because we've got no imagination ourselves, we're allowing them to run with that.
Exactly. But do you think it would be a different psychology if our young people stepped out of their house in the morning? I went to put money on the Oyster card, and someone who looked like them was tapping that money in on their Oyster card. If they went to the corner shop, their mum said, "Go to the shop and buy some bread and £5 a chicken or £10 a fish," and the person that was cutting up that chicken or scaling that fish looked like them. It would be a different psychology. Do you think it would be a different psychology if we didn't have so much disdain for our black businesses? If we didn't go on campaigns to discredit our own black businesses, it would be a different psychology.
You see, we're quick to complain against our own businesses because we know that talking against black people, there's no repercussions. If you talk about anyone else, they're going to come for you for libel, they're going to come for anything else. But we don't actually act. We're the passive people because we're not sure what direction to go. But the thing is, I hear what you're saying about going to businesses that you see black people. I remember speaking to this lady from Gambia, and she said that the best part of living in Gambia for her is that when she goes out every day, she doesn't have to worry about someone being racist towards her. She doesn't have to think about it. She's just going to work on her own merits because everyone looks like her. Yeah?
And you know the thing is,
you can go there and achieve that. So,
I can deal with being in Jamaica and putting up with certain confrontations from my own people. Because like I said, when I see them, I know we're going through the same thing. And I'm coming from a different standpoint. So when I look at them and I see the way they talk to me sometimes, over here, I see the way some of my brothers talk to me sometimes. And you look at them and the response you give them can be a defining factor into where that situation goes. And I can say I've been lucky because I'll tell you straight up, I've had knife drawn on me before.
You're not lucky, it's the ancestors with you, man.
Right. But I've had knives drawn on me more than one occasion.
Okay.
In instances. Yeah? And on one occasion when it happened to me, and I could have swore blind. And you know, I looked at the youth and said, I prefer to be killed by one of my brothers than be killed by the police. But what's happening right here is not happening. And I was intervening in something.
Wow.
Yeah? And I'm here today to tell that story. I don't believe you have some people talking about lock them up and throw away the key. They've been saying that from I was born. They've been saying that from before I was born. But let's say they locked up Malcolm X and threw away the key. He was a gangster. He was a pimp. When you hear Malcolm X talk about the type of person he was, he said he was the lowest of the low. What if they locked him up and threw away the key? You see, every young person you see out there right now, the victim and the perpetrator is a potential liberator for our people. And they know this. We don't study our history enough. When we look at when there was uprisings in this country in the 80s, who did Britain look to kind of curtail the revolution? They looked to America. What did America use during the 60s to destroy the Black Power movement? Guns and drugs. Same in Jamaica, guns and drugs. So if they're taking advice from these people, what kind of advice do you think they're going to give? The same advice, guns and drugs. So we saw the infiltration of guns and drugs through the 80s and the 90s in our communities. So when we look at where we are now, we've never addressed these issues. And again, what can we do? We have not tried anything. Let's stop fooling ourselves into believing we've exhausted all avenues and that's why we're here. We're here because there is an agenda for us to be here. And the people who are perpetrating that agenda are working hard on that agenda. The people who should be defending our communities and creating a counter agenda and instilling something in our young people, we ain't doing nothing. Because even listening to this show, there's probably some people sitting there that thinking that we're talking foolishness. The same way when we was out on the street, when we was out on the street, there's people that was commenting and saying, what are these people doing? Why are they walking up and down the street? It's a waste of time. These young people, you can't save them. This is what they were saying. So my thing is, if those people got up from behind their computers and their phones and actually did some work, we could reach somewhere. There's too much people talking and criticizing the people that are doing the work, criticizing organizations, talking about people with egos. And you know the funny, I know there's one thing I'm going to say before you speak. One thing that irritates me is this ego talk. Things are destroyed because of egos. Things are destroyed because of organizations. Organizations ain't doing nothing wrong. Individuals go into organizations and destroy organizations. And the people with the biggest egos are the ones attacking those community leaders for doing what they're doing. You can't have ego to be a community leader. You can't have ego to do that.
Sorry, brother. I always say a lot of people hate me, you know, but kill me dead if I'm going to be collateral damage so that my children can live how they should.
My dad's name has been dragged through the streets, and all my dad has done from I've been born is try to influence the next generation. And even if you don't agree with his tactics, even if you've fallen out with him over whatever happened, is the goal, what is more important, your issue with the man or the goal that you're trying to achieve? So all this talk of ego, people need to stop all of that, because the people with the biggest egos ain't doing nothing. They're tearing down the people who are putting their life on the line, who have spent their whole lives dedicated. There are people in this country who have dedicated their life, not just my dad, there are people that I've grown up around, elders that I've grown up around, that from I was born, I've seen these elders work hard, tooth and nail, give people that could have been lawyers, people that could have been doctors, people that could have been nurses, like and given up their livelihood for our community. And get no respect. They've never got a paycheck for it and get no respect for it. And you have people sitting at home doing absolutely nothing, targeting these people. If you get up off of your seat and support some of these initiatives, the reason why the same things keep getting spoken about, because they can work. We talk about police in our streets. People are saying we've been talking about that from the 80s. We haven't done it since the 80s. Yeah, we've been talking about it.
Done it on Tuesday though.
We done it on Tuesday, and it worked. And some people are gonna say, how are you gonna say that it worked when someone died in Hackney the following day? And I'm saying, well, no one didn't go to Hackney.
Yeah.
We was in Haringey.
Yeah, no one didn't die
in
that night.
Haringey.
Not that night.
And
no.
I'm not saying it's because that we was in the street, but it could be. That energy could have circulated around North London, and that could be the reason why. We don't know, but there's too many people talking and not doing nothing about it. Like I said, 3,000 people watched one person's live video at one time, and half of them was criticizing. Where was you? Why weren't you there? Your kids are probably out there on the road reaping havoc, and you're sitting on your computer chastising others. It don't make no sense.
You can't look at those people as your guide. Yeah, a lot of people, it's easier to destroy than create. It's easier to put someone else down so it doesn't show out what they're not doing. So when someone comes with that, what you call ego or whatever, or just fall into society's belief systems that we can't do anything by ourselves, you're going to have to push yourself aside and go forward.
Sorry, one second, Edison. We've got Francis.
Hi.
Are you hearing me, brother?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you for the call.
Yeah, you was one of the sorry, Edison. You was one of the people that saw a video. There was, over 12,000 views, 500 shares, and all of the comments I got were very positive. And you said that you wanted to start a community network. Sorry, Kings, yeah? You wanted to start a community network called Sawyer.
Yes.
Yeah, can you explain what that is the acronym for, please?
Okay, so Sawyer stands for Save Our Youth and Adults.
Save Our Youth.
Save Our Youth and Adults.
Okay, so
that's basically for the youth them, plus also young adults are being murdered as well.
So what, all right, Save Our Youth and Adults. So how can people get involved?
Okay, so basically what it's about is the group is going to be formed where we as a community start to police our community, because the police, the government, they ain't doing that for us. You get me? Okay? What my intention is, when I get the group off the ground, is to network with as much people as possible, as much groups as possible, up and down the country, in the cities, in towns where gang activity is rife.
Where you from? Where you from, Francis? Where you calling from?
I'm in Battersea, but I'm from Hackney originally.
Okay.
So what the idea of this is to be out there talking to these kids, the ones who are about to get into gangs, and even having ex-gang leaders talking to those who are in gangs, because I think they're the ones who are going to be able to reach out to the kids that are actually in gangs, and also as well to try and set up workshops, activities, events to take these kids away from the streets, because they've got nothing to do at all. You know, I go out on the road and I see youths just walking up and down doing nothing.
Yeah, so are you like first or second generation?
I'm second generation.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm second generation. I've got 2 kids. I don't live in this country, but I've got 2 kids. And it's just what I see. I grew up, when I was growing up, we had things to do, and then the Greater London Council went, and youth clubs started to close down slowly, and we were pushed out on the street. But then again, we didn't have social media, we didn't have smartphones, so there were some activities that we could do, but we were still pushed out on the streets. And yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I was out on road doing all mad stuff. Yeah, and then it took for me going inside, and my sister basically telling me, I'm going to be cutting you off if this continues. And I had to turn my life around.
Okay.
And
Save Our Young Adults. I like that. And you're looking for people quite nowish, aren't you?
Yeah, so what is the group is going to be set up on Facebook, yeah? At the moment, I'm recruiting for admin team, so I've got quite a lot of responses already. I'm looking for an admin team in Birmingham, Bristol, Manchester, even towns across England and Wales, because obviously gang activity is rife there. Once that's done, the group's going to get put together.
Okay.
And then it's going to be networking with all members of the community and other groups as well, hence why I came to you yesterday, and there's a few others I've been given, but I want to go to them as well. And using their skills, it's about encouraging these youths to do better for themselves. You know, I've got some people who run radio stations similar to yourself, youth groups and stuff, and what it is, it's to encourage them to do something with their life. Yeah, to take them away from the streets, because the government ain't gonna do nothing for you. We have to help these lost youths.
We have to.
You know, I'm sitting there in groups and I'm seeing debates. Oh, we should do this and we should do that. But that's just talk. Do something. Yeah. The Tanisha Melbourne killing has kind of got to me because an innocent girl has been shot. And it happened to be family to two friends of mine, this girl. Yeah, and they're distraught and heartbroken, and I'm distraught and heartbroken.
It's such a lot of... for some reason, the death of our young daughter, Tanisha, we call her our young daughter, granddaughter, sister, it's touched many people worldwide. Little London, UK.
Yes.
You know? Little London, UK. And I was on the way into the studio, me and Jammers was reasoning, and I said that an issue I have with some black businesses, whether it's musical production studios, the admin is absolutely rubbish.
Yeah.
You leave a message, you text, you email, no response. So, you know, business-wise, you know, you said you're looking for admin, and that's why I like when you started, you said you're looking for admin. Very important in black businesses. If you've got a website up, I mean, even I think Conscious Radio might be guilty of that. Keep it up to date. Yeah, there are people that are willing to do it voluntary. You just need to go out in the communities and find them. So, Francis, have you got a contact at all, please?
Yes, I have. What you can do is you can go to my page, which is Francis DB. On Facebook. But as soon as the group is up and live, I'm going to come back to you with that information. Yeah, it's just the thing is I'm taking, because I'm kind of like a one-man band at the moment. Okay. I'm doing things bit by bit because I don't want to miss anything out.
Well, share anything you want on my page, brother.
Yes, I'll do that. I'll definitely do that for you, definitely. And hopefully we can work together and put an end to this, because, you know, I've had enough and I'm not going to be here talking. We should be doing this and we should be doing that. I'm getting off my arse and I'm going to do it.
Well, I applaud you, my brother, yeah?
Thank you very much, thank you. And thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah, and thank you for your time, and we'll link soon.
No problem, take care.
All right, thank you.
One love. All right, bye.
Jammers, I want to mirror something that Natural Mystic said. He said that he was in a situation with a knife, and he said to the brother, I'd rather you take my life than a policeman. Some people say to me, why do you want to go and live in Africa, man? They're going to rip you off. I said, I'd rather my own people rip me off, because the tax man in the UK is ripping me off every day. What are you saying about that, Edison?
What's that? The tax man ripping you off?
Yeah, I was saying that people are saying to me that, oh, why do you want to go to Africa to live? You know, the people are going to rip you off. I said to them, I'd rather my own people rip me off, because the tax man in the UK is ripping me off every day. So I was mirroring that with what Natural Mystic said. He said to the young brother, I'd rather you take my life than a policeman. So I just wanted to mirror that little statement. Jammer's coming.
Honestly, you have to... you know, there's a saying that my first teacher taught me when I was doing my spiritual studies. And he's saying, if you have 16 yams and a man steals one, let him take it. You still got 15. Yeah? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're hearing you loud and clear, brother.
Yeah, so you're in a scenario where over there, everyone knows in business, someone is going to rip you off. As long as they don't rip you off to the point you can survive, you can carry on. As far as our own and society and people, you know, looking at the youth and worrying about what they're thinking about and how they're going to act to you, what do you say, certain people are going to have certain events take place in their lives to waken them up. That was an event for you, an event for a natural mystic, an event for that boy that took place. Because at this point, he realized what he was doing. That he's there attacking a man who's willing to die because he knows that at the end of the day, that this kid is in a wrong place. This kid is looking at him like, I want to kill you, but for what? Over an argument? So the kid's life would have changed. He would have said, my God, what am I doing? So that could have been a wake-up moment for him.
It would be interesting. I mean, I don't know if you're in how that person, if that, what you said, has had any effect on how he's living.
Can I just say something in relation to this, in relation to what that's basically, when we say conscious of what? You see? And that incident, he showed consciousness of family. Consciousness of family is the key to it. So even though he was going to take your life, you made him conscious that he's your family rather than an outsider. And we've got to be conscious that we're young, gifted and black. That's being held back. Another point I'd just like to mention is that it's hyped up like it's gang-on-gang violence. 17 and 18 years olds killing themselves. It's disguising who's supplying the guns, who's perpetrating the guns and the drugs. And they can shut down an army in Afghanistan. They can shut down Russia. They can trace the source of where the poisons come from. So they know who's supplying the guns, and they're perpetrators in this, and they're taking the eyes off what's really going on.
Okay.
And just a right to that, one question I asked them when we was on the street on Tuesday, I said to them, name the one time in the last 10 years where we knew that there was going to be no black on black violence, where we knew that there weren't no madness, where when you saw a different man from different places in one area, you knew everything was cool. When's the one time in the last 10 years that took place? And everybody said, and simultaneously they said, the riots. And I asked them why. I said, because everyone knew who the common enemy was. It didn't matter at that point whether you was from Wood Green, Tottenham, Hackney, Stockwell, Peckham. It didn't matter because we had a common enemy to fight. And a police chief, and I can't remember his name because it was on one of the News 24 channels. So it's very difficult to find these things. But I said it to a number of people, and some people said they saw it themselves. Now listen to what this man said. This is a high chief constable who was reporting live during the riots, and he said one of our most concerning things in the streets right now is that rival gangs who are usually fighting against each other are fighting together against a common enemy. He said this is one of his biggest concerns.
Wow.
Yeah? Not looking at, hold on, for this moment there's no gang violence. His biggest concern, then when you take it back to the point where historically when the FBI said we must stop the rise of a black messiah, especially one who can get through to the youth. So everyone's got a plan for our youth life except for us. So when young black people realize what's going on, realize, because like I said, no one wants to be a puppet. Nobody wants to be used for somebody else's game. That's one of the worst things you can tell somebody. You're a follower, you're being used, you're a puppet. You told the man them that they're gonna fight you, but when you show them, hold on, you're fighting somebody else's battle. But you're fighting against a man from Wood Green for what?
That's it. For
You've
what?
got family in Wood Green. Auntie so-and-so lives in Wood Green. Uncle so-and-so lives in Wood Green. So what has a man from Wood Green really done that bad for that to be your enemy? So like you said, our enemy is the person who's bringing in the guns and the drugs. Our enemy is the person who has put us in the state where our children cannot be educated properly. Our enemy is the person who's created an environment who's allowing, all right, one of the biggest songs on the road right now, out of all this UK music. The words are, I don't want to dead no beef.
No,
I don't want to sort it out.
Yeah, most stacks.
I don't want to, I can't remember the next part, but I don't want to talk it out. Yeah? That's the words of this song. Now, in a time where all this and for those who don't know, I know there's some big people may not understand. When he says, I don't want to dead no beef, he's basically saying, I don't want to end the war. Beef is war. Beef is arms house. He's saying, I don't want to end the war. I don't want to sort it out. I don't want to talk it out. That's one of the biggest songs right now.
Nearly 10 million views on YouTube.
Right, and that's a war chant. Now, in a time when these songs are being played on the BBC regular.
Yeah.
When was the last time you heard a caller play on BBC? When the last time you heard a caller play on Kiss? When the last time you heard a caller play on One Extra? Or these commercial radio stations? How are known gangsters, yeah? Some of these men that are recording these songs are known gangsters.
With criminal records.
Criminal records, yeah? The police know about. How are these men getting big record deals and being played on commercial European radio stations on a regular basis? We've got our young people 12 and 13 singing these songs, but then you're going to say, well, the young men, why are they singing these songs? Because if they don't sing, they don't get a record deal. The proof is in the pudding. There are people out there talking conscious lyrics. They're not on the BBC. They're at the local open mic. So we have to understand that there's an industry. There is a system. We don't have to talk about the system no more. Let's not talk about the system. Let's take yes, we have to take responsibility. Our responsibility is that we have allowed the system to raise our children. Our responsibility is that we have allowed people who are oppressing us, who have a negative road for our children to walk down. We've allowed our children to walk down that road. But we cannot absolve the people who oppress us. It's like during slavery, when they gave us the whip to whip our own people. Slavery still existed. The context of slavery didn't stop because black people had the whip in their hand. When during colonial times and we got independence, the colonial power didn't remove itself. They gave black people the government, but the colonization of our people still existed. So in this time now, we can say, well, we've got black MPs and we've got this and we've got that, and the young people are doing this. Yes, the young people are holding the gun, but there's somebody behind them pulling the strings. And if we don't fight those people, if we're not trying to fight that, no matter how many young people save, we're still going to go. And there's one thing I'm going to say before you come in, Elder, is that Stanley Tookie Williams, who was one of the people who was credited with starting the Crips gang in America, yeah. And when you watch his documentaries about him and watch his movie and read his book, and when he was in prison and he turned his life around and began to engage with young people, he helped end a lot of Bloods and Crip wars.
Yeah, truly.
But he said his main focus was targeting the young people, the 5 and 6 year olds, who the system haven't got them yet.
Wow.
The system has begun to get them, but hasn't got them yet. And he said that became his main focus, because he said, I can do this work ending the Bloods and the Crip wars, but I can't get to them. Some of them I'm not going to be able to get to. But these young people, no one don't have them yet. We can get them. What are we doing now in 2018 to ensure in 18 years from now, these 5 and 6 year olds are not going to be victims and perpetrators of what we're seeing on the streets right now?
As I said, you can start by throwing out the video games. Them violent video games. That's simple and basic. If you don't know it, we've got Natural Mystic, and he's only 30 years old, but I said he's an old man. We got Jammers in the studio, and we have Edison live on the line. And Edison will be speaking with Umar Johnson and Muta Baruka this coming Saturday over in Camberwell. It's Conscious Radio. Good morning, it's Stevie Marshall. Over to Jammers.
I just want to bounce off anybody who's got a big record deal. They've signed a contract. Contract is contract act against yourself. Album means to make white, and when they sing that, it makes us all bums. Look at the word album, all bums. After you sign the act against yourself, you're making everybody all bums by the lyrics. So you're already signed over to the enemy if you've got a big deal, and you can just tell by the lyrics. And that's what's scaring at the young people, to give them that hook line that they're hooked on the lines of the drug dealer.
Going back to Mo Stacks, that song. Funny enough, I've had communication with him on an educational level.
I think he's a feature though. I think the guy that actually sings the song is a guy called Dave.
Dave, yeah.
It's Dave featuring Mo Stacks.
But Mo Stacks got robbed. He had a piece of, and he said, yeah, they pulled up, valued up. Yeah, well, I'm in this, and that's what happens. He went out the next day and bought another one. And one of the lines in the song is, more in my bank account, more money goes in than out. Yeah, I like dealing with the dirtiest, because they're the easiest ones. And he's talking about our young princesses.
Yeah. Uncle, let me say something about that.
Go on.
You know what? There's so many layers to this thing. And this is what we need to realize as well. There's layers. Because even I was talking to my missus and I said to her, you know what? When you have a situation where, and these are real situations, you have a young girl who's killed accidentally by her 15-year-old girl was killed accidentally by her boyfriend.
Yeah, and
why? Because they was playing with a gun on his birthday in the bedroom. Yeah, the gun goes off. She ends up dead. There's so many layers. How do you deal with that as a parent? You have to look at, hold on, my 15-year-old child is in a bedroom with another 15-year-old boy. What was going on? Why was they playing with a gun? Can I be angry at him if my daughter was also playing with that gun? There's so many layers that we have to deal with. But you see, when it comes to the respect of our young sisters, and again, certain things that we deal with, that we vocalize and people don't want to deal with. This equality and men and women and boys and girls are all the same. No, we're not. When I was growing up, my dad would chastise me heavily if I spoke to a female in a particular way. You and the man them could go at it, but you don't talk to women like that. We was taught that from young. We went for a stage now where these youths were told that you can talk to anybody however you want to talk to anybody. Yeah. So then you had young girls, which is an issue for me when I was, let's say, calling their female friends bruv, fam, wagwan blood. Females can't talk to me like that. I don't respond to you. That's how man them interact with man. How are you as a female calling your female friend bruv? It doesn't make any sense. So then what happens is the females are dealing with each other like man them. The man them are dealing with the females like man them. So then it becomes nothing for a young man to box down a young girl because you're one of the man them. Everybody's on the same playing field. So we don't respect our people. But what's happening in that context? The 15 and 16 and 17-year-olds are getting each other pregnant. So you're impregnating someone who you don't respect, who you can box down at any moment, who they can box down at any moment. Then you raise a child in that context. But then what are the parents doing? Because the mum hates the dad, and the mum sits down and talking about men are this and men are that, and men are this and men are that. Right. And so that young boy is growing up in that context where he hates the women around him.
Okay.
He loves his mum. He loves his mum, but he hates black women because he knows I'm gonna grow up to be a black man.
Okay.
Then he loves his dad, but his dad hasn't been a dad.
Hasn't been around.
So he don't know how to express that emotion to his dad to sit down with him. Because you know you have them programs where a man hasn't seen his dad for 15 years and they sit down, they talk and they get emotional and they cry and the dad is saying, I wanted to be a dad, I just couldn't, I didn't know how to do it. And the son's like, well, I understand dad and These young people don't have that kind of emotion. So you're raised in a context where your mum and your dad don't like each other. The black man and the black woman don't like each other. And everything you see out there is the black man degrading the black woman and the black woman chastising the black man.
Going back to the elders, I'm like, for me, any black woman, I tell them, you look nice today, you're a queen, and they look at me funny. I'll open the door, you have my seat, because that's how my mum grew me.
It's weird. You can go to a dance hall, and a DJ say, big up the girl them with the, and start talk about their underneath and the dirty girl them this and big up the dirty girl them on the janker and the freak and they'll walk out and they'll get excited being called these names. But then you walk up to a sister and you say, how you doing, Empress? How you doing, Queen? And she'll look at you up and down like, exactly. So I'm saying now we're in a situation where the men don't respect themselves and don't respect the women. The women don't respect themselves and then therefore can't take respect from the man then. But in the context of all of this, we're having children.
And the children are becoming the same.
And the children are a product of this. So I'm saying is, unless we address ourselves, I don't chastise you, because you see when a youth kills another youth, that's 2 families destroyed.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's 2 lives destroyed. Because you're going to prison for the rest of your life.
And you don't even know what you...
Right.
It's something.
And this is why I'm saying, it be even big when we understand the layers, the idea that this is not a black issue. Yes, everybody needs to be involved. Yes, there's different races of people that live in our areas. But the uniqueness of what we've been through as a people. In the 90s, you couldn't mention slavery. Oh, get over it.
Yep.
Don't talk about slavery. And I want to tell people this. Everything that happens in 2018 is a result of slavery. You know why? Because we never addressed what took place in slavery, ever. So when we look at how we view each other, we look at the when you talk about the light skin, the dark skin, you look at the hair argument and them kind of things. We haven't addressed that during slavery. There's something else that we haven't addressed. And I'm going to bring this up that people don't like to talk about. Two things: domestic violence and child abuse. How many of these young people out there have been abused or been witnesses of domestic violence?
How many women have men that have impregnated their woman's daughter?
This is what I'm saying, and we don't like to talk about this in the black community. We don't like to have these discussions in the black community. I know young men who are out there running wild who have been abused. Some of them from home, some of them from foster care. We don't discuss these things. We don't discuss that during slavery, fathers were made to sleep with their daughters. Fathers were made to sleep with their nieces to impregnate them because they wanted to recreate that kind of shade or that kind of stature. Yeah?
Stature, yeah.
So then you let these people loose out into the world. No one's ever addressed these issues. And if you understand psychology, trauma passes down through generations. And if you don't address the trauma at any point, that trauma is going to continue. The trauma that we went through during slavery has never, ever been addressed. So to the point now, this is why we can't talk about domestic violence and child abuse in the black community.
Right.
Because it still hurts. It still hurts. We cannot talk about it. There was a thing the other day where people were coming out and saying that these young boys who are being scouted in football. There was a big thing where enough of the young men were being abused. Were being paid to star in gay porn. What? This is how they was getting their contracts. You have to star in this gay porn. We're going to give you £10,000 advance, but you have to come to this house and have sex with these three men. This was taking place this is last year or the year before. There was videos going out about this. Recently, a woman did a video talking about her son who's in foster care and he's sleeping in a bed with this white woman who's supposed to be the foster carer, having sex with this woman who's supposed to be looking at her son's well-being. And then when she's trying to address it, she's getting injunctions taken out against her.
Yeah, children have been taken away.
They're being taken away from us. And I'm saying the layers of the discussions we need to have as a people. And unless we have these discussions, we ain't going nowhere. Unless we can sit down, unless the people who are perpetrating, unless we can go certain places and say, you know what, this man's got the status, but the man's nasty. Because he's sleeping with bare underage girls.
Because we've got Edison on the line as well, yeah. Sorry about that.
We have to address these issues.
And this is a young king. He's old enough to be my son, but he's older than me. Yeah.
This is why I just let him. I'm glad that he's breaking down what he's breaking down.
He said layers. I love that.
He's saying that I need to get to speak to the people that understand him. Yeah. Because some of us elders, when we come with our solutions, there's such a wide gap from what the kids understand and what we have to say sometimes. You have to put it in the right temperament and the right thing. But what he's saying and the way he's saying it is the way that they understand. For me now, because I slightly go a bit more internal.
Sorry,
you actually think, brother. No, it's okay, because again, I know I had to cut out the TV a long time ago, only because I realized that, what do they call it? Soap. For brainwashing. You understand that? So you can see that these things are implying on you a different way of life that these guys want you to follow. You know, if they get an introduce a character to you, they want society. If you're sitting there and you can't think for yourself, the visual medium of taking information in, you're constantly going to be using that as your frame of reference. So you're going to actually process who you are from all the information you've taken in. They say your mind is the stomach to your experience.
Wow.
Yeah, it's processing it. So everything you hear, you process and generate a feeling from. So these guys are the ones giving you your food, your visual food, and you're just consuming it without checking it. I always say, I wish you could get a vegan mind where these guys don't process these heavy, meaty things that are literally hard to swallow and then cause them indigestion afterwards.
As Shani always says, read the label. Bigging up a very spiritual Team Conscious radio colleague, Empress Ashanti Wa Selassie, also Chancellor D, my spiritual brother and breakfast colleague every Tuesday and Wednesday. Yeah, I feel so empowered this morning. Empowered, break down the word, please. Sorry, innocent.
EN is in.
Oh, Jam is there. He's got to go for that.
Still, N means to be in something. N, power. So EN means in.
Where EM, empower.
Because basically, look at the word. Every time you see the word EN, it means to go in something. Empower, enrich, enlighten. So when you go into a shop, it's got the word entrance. So in a trance.
Okay.
It's right in front of your face, but you can't see it.
Okay.
You know.
Interesting. Break down a couple more words for me. Some symbols. Some simple stuff.
That.
This is.
Yeah, that's easy. What you did. Yeah, just
community, come unite. Is that right?
Got me on, I can't even think of.
You know what? Empress Ashanti always says anything started with C-O-N, Empress Ashanti Wa Selassie. Anything started with C-O-N is a con.
Yes, with, yeah. Yeah, it means with. So that's like contract, you're going with. Oh, I'll break down the letter A.
Yeah.
The letter A is an African symbol. Okay. You reverse it the other way around, you see ox's head.
Yes.
The Jews have got the same letter for letter as the African. Yeah.
Okay.
The letter A also in ancient Kemet means vulture. It's called a Medunetcha. Remember, they just say it's A, and they can't tell you why it's A. Yeah. It's called a Medunetcha. It means your nature. So it's a signpost to your nature. And the letter A is represented by the vulture. What does the vulture do? The vulture symbolizes creation. It takes dead animals and creates nutrition. That's what you do when you eat a dead plant or dead meat. You have the power to create. That's part of your nature, is creativity. And that's what you can just get from the letter A. From that now, you can create your own spirit. Because the ox's head symbolizes the spirit. What does an ox or a bull do? It does something continuously and repetitively, and it's resistant. That's the same way they used to educate you. They give you a letter continuously, repetitively, until you have no resistance against it. So the letter A, when you look at the Medunetcha, was your ability to instill habits in you for yourself. But at the moment now, we're letting somebody else create our own habits and create our behavior for us. And that's just from the letter A.
So I'm just trying to, because you know we've got phones going
all over the place, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so this is Africa. Basically, it's Africa. No, let me break down the word English. Lish means to do something. It means kind of like something, like Scottish or tallish. So it means it's like ing. It's like ing. So English means like ing. What's ing? The E and the A are interchangeable. So the ing comes from Ang, the land of Angles, which were the Germans who settled over here. So when you're saying you're English, you're saying you're a type of German.
Okay.
What does German mean? German means to interbreed. You know, so when you're calling yourself English, you're saying you're a German who interbreeds. What do the Germans see in themselves as the high as? They call themselves the Aryan race. Yeah. The Aryan is an Asian word which means noble. Yeah. So the Germans are calling themselves Asian, but they call themselves Caucasian. So they call themselves, and when you're dead, because comes from the word caucus, dead, that means you're pale or light skinned. So when you're saying you're English, you're calling yourself a German who interbreeds and comes from a dead Asian.
Sorry, very quickly. Leonie, good luck. Leonie from the East End. Good luck with your interview today. Sorry, I know it's took me a long while, right? So Leonie from the East End, good luck with your interview today. Okay, great one. That's from 867. Sorry, Jammers.
Yes. That's how I say. When people are saying their word, they're not realize what they're talking about. You know, and when someone controls your language, then you're left blind. And part of the way to change your consciousness is to change your language, or to become conscious of what you're actually talking about when you say something.
See, when you say that, another young person said to me that when the Greeks went to Kemet, they spoke, but they didn't have an alphabet, because he was relating it to what Patwa was. It's a mixture of French, English, and Creole. So he said they came to Kemet, but they could speak, but no one didn't know what they were saying. And they took what we had as our alphabet to form, I suppose, what is now the English language. Am I right, Edison?
Yeah, it's the Phoenician alphabet.
Phoenician.
Effectively, we're leading with the Phoenician alphabet, where they had the whole alphabet of the 22 letters, which are the same 22 letters that you're going to find in the Kabbalah as part of the things. All of these things, what we're really not breaking down is the concept of their spells.
Okay.
As Jammer was saying, each letter, or me and Jammers have had this conversation, each letter has a corresponding frequency, and it comes from a different part of your body. When you say A, you have to make a certain movement in your body to actually create the word. R, you have to breathe. That's why it's the first letter. R.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Also, if you look at a capital A, it's got a pyramid shape in it, hasn't it?
Yes.
So therefore, they were hiding it in plain view. All these letters, the way in which they're done, they actually have a frequency, start from your body. So pronouncing a certain word can paralyze you, put you in a certain state.
Okay.
So these things was actually taken from occult books and literally then used as spells, as when we pronounce a word, it has a certain effect. That's why when people use the swearing words, they actually have you feel something physical when you hear them.
Okay.
Yeah, because the way in which you pronounce them, they generate a frequency from a part of your body that makes you uncomfortable. There's a lot more to the science of the actual words and how they actually do it. That's why certain words have more power than others.
I just want to say...
Sorry,
look at the word swear, you see what somebody's wearing on them, because S is silent, so that's what they're wearing about themselves. They've got that toxic energy. So when they're swearing at you, look at the word swear, you see the word wear. I just want to say couple more things. Look, when you say the word breathe, it's like you're breathing. It's how the word, when you say the word breathe, you're actually breathing that word. When you say the word smile, notice how your mouth goes up in a smile.
Yeah.
When you say the word high, you hear how your voice goes high. Yeah. When you say the word low, you hear how your voice goes low. So there's a science behind the sounds that affects, as Edison's saying, affects your organs and how you operate.
That's it. There's a lot. When they're actually getting us to call ourselves a certain word, they know the frequency that generates. So they know by just uttering that word, you're put into a paralyzed state. Have to get over it before you actually then start communicating it yourself.
And the word
That's
spell,
why it never feels good.
Look at the word. This word spell means a silent force. Compel means a force coming to you. Repel means a force back. Dispel means the distance of a force. So a spell is a silent force. And basically the words that they give you, a spell means a period of time. So when you say the word shy, and you've been programmed to what shy is, under that period of time you think about shy, you become shy. Sorry, Edison. You still there, Edison?
So yes, brother.
So.
No, the truth is, this is what you're saying about the alphabet and all these different other sciences, because people don't perceive the Western to have spiritual sciences. But the fact is, they say the best program is one that you think is natural. So you don't realize they're running a program on you every time you speak and communicate.
Interesting.
That's why we in our class, we teach people to speak in their original language, the language you spoke as a child. Because when you're actually speaking, you're speaking with your pure life force. A child isn't trying to interpret his words into English to make you feel better. He's speaking with his raw energy.
Okay.
And
that's why when we're saying English words, to emphasize what we mean, we have to either raise our voice and put energy, or what do we say, more power into the word, so that you try and understand what a person's feeling. But when you're coming from your own language, my God, and a baby's talking, you know exactly where they're coming from.
That's it.
There's other sciences that, sadly, our community have and been lost. And they're languishing within us that just need to be shown how to echo and get them out. And you'll find out the reason why the black woman is so powerful is because she's the original woman with all the DNA that exist in this reality. If she was able to access that in her mind, there's nothing that can stop her. And we, offsprings of her, have that power within us because our mother's energy and DNA is within us.
Wow.
So we have the power to create whatever we want to do.
And that's why
when I talk about empowerment, when we talk about it, there's so much more we can do. All these things that they see like X-Men and reading minds and all that kind of thing, we do this every day. You'll have someone say, I've got a feeling about that person. And their feeling is accurate.
You know what? My friend said, Marcel said that when he was growing up in Jamaica, although he was born in the UK, you know, that even when his grandma was in the kitchen, she might be doing something, but there was always grandmas, they hum while they're doing things.
Yeah.
And he's just realised that there's a spiritual...
That's it, we feel things.
Yeah, behind that. There was always a certain hum when she was making a certain... Right. There's a thing going around on Facebook that black people, we don't use measurements for ingredients. We put it on until the ancestors say to stop. That's so powerful.
This is how you do it.
And people are taking it as a joke, but it's serious.
But the thing is, look how their programs of someone who can't barely cook, like Ramsay. You see how spectacular it is to them that they've got a big show on something that our mothers and our grandmothers done with their eyes closed. You know, a basic science of cooking that now, you know, it's something that they've just discovered now in 2018.
What's that?
Cooking.
No, the funny thing is, you know, the reason why we go home to Mama's cooking, because when she's cooking, her feelings, her thoughts are not restricted to her body. They infuse the whole room.
Well, that's
so you know when Mum's upset, you know when she's angry. So when she's cooking, that energy is going into that food.
That's
so
why
she's
they say...
cooking it with love.
You hit the nail on the head. Cooking with love, and they always say, if you're angry or you got some bad intentions, don't cook food.
Don't cook.
Because
don't cook food. The mother will know that I shouldn't cook for you today because I'm upset. Let's do a takeaway because I don't want you to consume what I'm feeling.
And if you look at water and you look at the plants, they respond. Then they've done scientific tests that they can see that the water responds to feelings. Also, plants respond to feelings. You know, so
yeah, everything. Because we are electrical magnetic beings, and everything we think or feel is radiating out of our skin into our environment. That's why there's a certain thing. You know when everyone's feeling good in a room because everyone's vibrating on that frequency. But all it takes is one person who's discordant, angry in themselves, and that lowers the whole frequency of the room. Then everyone has to turn their attention to that person in order to find balance in the room again. That's how you could get a moody child that will dictate how the house works.
And everything is designed to destruct your memory. Listen to the word memory. You see me, Maury, me, black. So everything is designed to destroy that. The fact that your memory, look at the word memory, me, Maury, the sound of me being black. Because that's where everything comes from. The original memory, the original source, the original return is the blackness. It's in the word memory.
Look, in your mind, it's only black. The thing I used to have about religion that used to kill me is when they asked me to pray to Jesus, when I used to sit there, I'd close my eyes and all I could see is black. I couldn't see anything.
Wow.
I couldn't see no concept of God or none. They would want me to use that image they had of Jesus as a way in which I could use that image and put that in my mind because I'm stuck with an idea of my own.
And the funny thing is, sorry, Edison, in the middle of the word praise, the word ray. In the middle of the word ray is the word ra. Ra is the Kemet word for light. And they pray on the Sunday, which is the ra.
No, well, the Sunday, Moon Day, all the other gods day. It just goes on like that, my friend.
And
look,
the Christian man's going to say hello. You know, that's the first word to come out of his mouth is hell.
Hold on.
Hold
on, Edison. Now you might be thinking that Jammers has got on one African dashiki, one African dashiki, African hat. He looks like he works in an office. He got on waistcoat and shirt. And I think he got one man bag too. So you'd walk past him and think, yeah, he lives in the office, he eats takeaway, he goes down the pub, he looks like a regular black man on the road, like that you would see on the road. He looked decent, but what I'm hearing, you wouldn't think, nah. But I know, because I'm spiritual. That's why we met this morning. Yeah, we didn't arrange it.
No, and the thing about it as well, I ain't come through no news. That's why I can say that. Why is AA? Because it's the first sound that is made. Why is ZZ? Because it's the last sound that you make when you sleep or when you die. So that's why the alphabet is made based on your breathing. That is no book, no Google, no internet, no Einstein. No one's come out with that. That's our ancient power.
And just quickly, going back to the music that our young people listen to. I read a whole thing about music. I'm going to have to read it again. 3 minutes long. Yeah, you need to be mindful of the music that you're listening to because the vibrations of the music is very healing. And I tell people, it's not the words and the beat. There's some serious, if you're listening to the right music, there's some serious vibrations going on.
In the word music is the word muse. Muse means to think, and then I see like in a museum you go around and see, or amusing. So the word muse means to think. It's in the word music.
Okay.
The thing about music is that your body doesn't speak in English. Your physical body speaks in music. It has its own separate language in which it uses to communicate to the organs. So therefore, whenever it hears any music, it can either stimulate the body positively or stimulate the body negatively. That's why when you hear an old tune from back in the day, it picks you up and makes you want to dance. Yeah. You find this energy because it's almost like there's lots of energy from your memories that hears that music and triggers and wants to get up and start to dance. And that's how when you said you was in that club and you heard that music, your body sunk down because you said, my God, my body can't interpret this music. It's making me feel awkward and funny.
And that's how we
haven't been conditioned on it.
And that's how we communicate, because we communicate with vibration. Vibration is really memory transmitted to somebody else. So that's how we communicate. It's intelligence. Vibration is intelligence. It vibrates at a certain rate. And that's why we can hear music and we can move without no choreography or learning no steps. And this is what's dazzling them, because we're really performing telepathy. Telepathy, tel means a distance. Like television is a distance over a long time. So telepathy means feeling. Sympathetic, that means you feel towards something. So when you can pick up things from over distance, we're really performing telepathy, but we don't know it.
Telepathy. But then, because again, the real, this is why drums, you can hear certain drums and all music is made on drums. Because in the back of your mind, those African drums call into your old ancient memories, lifetimes that you had before you got here.
Because you
bring you into a certain state where you're just gone.
What's the sweetest, Edison, what's one of the sweetest feelings if you're in Africa or even the Caribbean and you hear a beeline it's coming from way over there and you can hear it, boom, 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 and then that just like, yeah, I'm home, or wow, it just brings a different aura, a different feeling.
Sorry to interrupt, but the next thing is when, sorry,
I was going to say about the organ.
Okay.
And how each organ has a different frequency which it responds to. So therefore that deep bass hits you there either in your stomach or your lower chakra. And that's why when you hear that boom, and they used to play that music in a dance or lovers rock or what have you, they put that certain B line in there because they know as soon as the people heard that, they knew what time it was. What was it? It was what you were supposed to do.
Interesting.
So music played properly, as they say, to the right parts of your body, to your right organs that have a certain frequency. And that's why the same thing with letters are basically said at a certain frequency. So it's going to affect your body at a certain way. And just by using a word that begins with M, jammers could go into it, M or W. M closes you down, W opens you up.
Like we were wish,
start with those words.
Me, mine, the M means energy down. We were, was, energy outwards. And it's funny how a child is born and it knows how to dance to the beat. Because in the genetic vibration, the child also has the memory in the bank. So you see a little child,
they will hold on and dance.
Dancing with that
beat.
The
music on, they will hold on and dance.
We are living vibration. We are living organs. Look at the word Negro backwards. You see the word organ. You see, it's in the vibration.
What do you think about this word, the nigger word?
Perfect.
The what? The nigger word.
Yeah, because basically runner runs, jumper jumps, yeah. So you're left with 3 letters which are
G-E-R.
No.
Say it again.
The word nigger or niger, take away the ER that you've got left with the root.
Yes.
The 3 letters of the root are
In.
The first letter of
N.
Then the next letter is
I.
The next letter is
G.
Say that faster.
No, N-I-G, 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 N-I-G.
We produce energy.
Okay.
Energy backwards is what? Jinn. Spirit. Not the J spirit, what I was talking about, the original spirit. So we produce the original spirit. Look at the word begin. You got the jinn in it. Origin. We got the begin in it. Virgin. We are the original spirit. It's in the word night as well. In the word night, it's in the word Niger, so it means darkness. Simeon the Niger prophesies the coming of Jesus. Niger in ancient Greek means Christian. So tell me about the word Niger. The Queen's name backwards. The Queen's name is Elizabeth Regina.
Yeah.
What's Regina backwards? A nigger. So that's her surname is a nigger. So tell me about Arnold Schwarzenegger, black nigger. They've got it as their surname.
And that's the Germans used to have.
The Germans. What's the German surname? Nigger.
Black.
Yeah.
Nigger. Because again, it's been used as a derogatory term, like the word guy from the word goyim, isn't it? Grotesque person. So all these things, Caribbean, cannibal. This is where the word derives from. And people calling themselves Caribbean, not knowing the actual word defines cannibal.
You have to wonder, sorry Edison, why is he calling you this word and not cat, dog? He's using this word, so something about that word he dislikes. So just like you had a girlfriend called Susan, you found out she's cheating, you call her Susan. So the word Niger, because they can see you've got a power behind it, it's Niger to them. Okay. But we produce NIG. That's why they see energy.
For Tupac, it was an acronym of never ignorant getting goals accomplished.
Yeah. Well, you see, we have to use it because someone's given it. The one thing these guys don't want you to have is your own language, because then you'll think for yourself, act for yourself, and you'll leave their game alone. So they have to keep pumping all these words at you, and eventually you become conditioned to use their words to describe yourself. And as
Jay-Z's got a song.
Disempower yourself.
Jay-Z's got a song. Fat nigger, slim nigger, brown nigger, black nigger, tall nigger, short nigger. Whatever, you're still one.
Well, you see, the problem with that is they're using reverse psychology because they don't realise the significance of the name.
Yes.
So it's something that you don't really say. You just know you've got the power, but it's a mindset. You just say, oh, they're calling me that, so I'm going to call myself that to show it doesn't hurt me. So they're not really using it the right word.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for that one.
It's like a lady that gets abused. I know it's a bit out left, but a lady that gets abused, she'll have an energy attached to her that could make her a bit promiscuous. Then she's in a scenario where she wants to take control of that situation, and she goes out and looks for people so that she can regain power in that situation. Wow. We are always, I know it's a bit left field, but it's a reality. We're in a scenario where we're trying to, all the foods in America, a lot of them, that they had the pig. Then they made chitlins, grits, all these different things. So whatever we give them, we change it into something better, but it's still fruit from the poison tree.
Wow.
Oh, sorry, there's one element I want to bring, but I think it's been left out. We've got to also look at body parts, because they're looking at us, we're looking at them as just people. They're looking for our body parts. Look at their bodies, look at that. So they're looking at us, they want the organs, they're dying. So they want our organs, they want our blood, they want our eye sockets, they want what we have. So they're looking at us like carnivores, or this is why they're giving you, when you walk past the street, you see now they're looking at you, because when they see a black king, they see what they be lacking.
What they be lacking?
Yeah, when they see a black king.
I get looked at all the time. I'm fed up telling people how old I am. Fed up with it now. Not fed up, but it's every day. When I have to give my date of birth.
Because the thing is, they can have all the money, all the wealth, but you look at someone one of them who's the same age as you, and you see who's the richest.
I always tell people I'm a billionaire in here, mate.
Well, look, the thing is, it's really hard, because these guys know at the end of the day they've stolen their position, and they're waiting for you to wake up and realize the only power that he has over you is what you believe he has. And if you turn around on him one day and say, you know what, I'm not playing your game. I don't care about your money, which you've got me to take over myself. I don't care about anything you have. I'm going off to go and do my own thing. He would say, but wait, we need you to give us guidance on what we should and shouldn't do. Because you notice that... Sorry?
No, continue that, and then I will say, because we're going to close... And I just want to say my pick.
They're closed, isn't it? They're closed, the music. What is the grand music that we don't care for, some of us, of an older generation, we don't care for it because we know the psychological effect it's having. Look, if you get an angry man to sing angrily, he's just creating more angry people.
Wow.
But the boy is angry. You can hear it in his voice. So you're hearing that. Even if he was in a good mood, the fact that you're hearing someone angry voice all his disappointment in you, and you start to process your reality, go, yeah, I can relate to that. What has that done? That's just shut down your whole positivity, progress. And now you feel your only option is to behave negatively like him. And we're looking to create negative solutions to find a positive result. So money gained from drugs and all those kind of things is now going to become a positive thing. And there's no energy that's transferring through that money created.
Yeah, I just want to say as well, you're following how the man clothes himself. Look at the word clothe, you see he loathes himself. Loathe is in the word clothe. He dislikes himself. Look at the word Adam, you see a damn, someone who got damned. Someone who's repelled by nature. What's repel backwards? Leper.
Well, and so listeners, I would urge everyone, as young natural mystic, but he's older than me, said, yeah, we can all start in our own homes. Whether it's you get rid of those 18 plus games that are violent for your 12-year-old children, whether it is, you get that nephew or the youth down the road that respect you and you know he's on the road, instead of you allowing him to say, boy, unks, I'm going up the road to lick a shot. Now I'm like, nah, forget that for now. Let's go and eat and reason. Yeah? And as Natural Mystic said, we have to start with the next generation. We're not leaving out those that are already at a certain point. But if we're going to build, we have to start with the 3, 4, 5, 6-year-olds, even 2-year-olds. Yeah, that's where, I can see the general feeling. It's about the next generation. Otherwise, they're going to become like the generation, not all of the young people, that we're having problems with now.
So I'm going to be doing the next.
Can I say something quickly? Because I had Davis Williams from
Davis J. Williams. Manhood Academy. Big up Manhood Academy.
Big up Manhood Academy.
Exactly. Now, he broke down to me. He came and said how the black youth, when they're in kindergarten or what have you, whatever you call it, they're geniuses. They come out, they're speaking, their language, everything is distinct. They go up until the age of 12, and they're still great, way ahead of everything. Then they get into secondary school. Then they start with the hype of that inferiority complex. The slave stories come in. All those issues where this boy that was brilliant now has to think about his color as an issue. And now he realizes that this racist education program has an agenda against him. And now superiority per se is now gained in the classroom. That's where the biggest theft takes place of who you are. Because no one sees a teacher as racist when he's telling a lie about what people didn't create.
You know what they told me at school in the 70s? And I got in trouble for it because I said to the teacher, you need to bring that African people used to run around in the jungle naked with a bone in their nose, and they used to eat people. And because I said that God is black once, and that was a visit to the headmaster's office.
See what I'm saying? And that's what I said. The racism was there, but we didn't perceive it, and we're still putting our children in that dynamic. But he told me, he said they get to 13 and they become dundas. All of a sudden, they're not thinking. He also broke down to me how the worst thing is that the police. If person understands their straw man and all this kind of thing, all right, and you understand that there's a massive fund that has been put in your name when you were born. A bond is taken out when you're born. When you give over your birth certificate, something is created on the stock exchange in your name. And all of a sudden, all the funds to pay for your school and everything is created. But what he broke down to me is when these young boys go to prison, the prison get over 100 grand a year from this boy's fund in order to look after him in that prison per year. So it's a massive business putting all these black boys, because they can make more money off them in prison than they're out on the road paying tax.
Because even the area, for instance, if it was in Haringey Council would get money off of each young prisoner.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. This is a business putting them inside. And the thing is, they know outside, the way that they set it up, there's no way this child can progress and do what they need to, because they've already handicapped him at school. If not mentally, gave him some standard education, so the poor kid is there speaking, talking his truth, and the people there are laughing at him because they've got another version of the truth.
You know what?
But when a man saying it's gone...
You know what you said? I'll give an experience. You see, if I got in trouble at school, I know my mum's going to beat me up, but she never, ever, in front of that headmistress, embarrassed me. Or one time the headmistress said to me, now apologise to your mother. You know, my mum turned around and said, he's my son. I will deal with him in my way when I get home, thank you very much. My mum never... She said, son, even if you're wrong, tell me what happened, but you know I'm going to deal with you, but you're my son. Yeah, so we have to really look into ourselves. And he said, as Edison said, we need to go back to our roots. Yeah, we really need to go back to our roots, because it's not pretty out there on the road. It is not pretty, and we can start with the young people. We start in our homes. What are our children listening to? Why are you sleeping and your child's watching TV at 2 o'clock in the morning? Why haven't you got a lock on the computer so they can't look at Big Booty when you're sleeping? Yeah? Where's your password? I don't know how to do it. Well, pay £5 and let someone show you. Go to the shop. Yeah? Because you're going to go to the Asian man to get your phone fixed, and he's going to charge you £30 for a £2 job. So it's better you give me a £5. Find out how to lock up your computer. Yeah, this is what we need to... Stop giving your children chips and a chip of a cigarette or a Rizla or whatever. Stop. We need to... It's serious out there. And my thing is, we have to police our community, our streets, our children, our problem. Thank you, G.A.N.G, guiding a new generation. Also Edison, who will be speaking with Umar Johnson and also Muta Baruka this Saturday over in Camberwell. Whereabouts, Edison, again, please?
It's 275. It's in the Lighthouse, 275 Camberwell High Road.
Is that the only show? Is that the only one in London?
Well, yeah, we're doing a big embankment, Masters of Empowerment. I don't like to use the term Masters because I'm always a student, because that's an ego thing. But that said, we're going to bring some sort of different thing. Everything a black person should know about empowerment. I wanted to say one more thing, though, because everyone, as always, is just watching the boys. But the young girls and how they're coming up as well, and their attitude, the mothers have got to look at that as well. And I wish the older ladies in the community would come, put something together to show these girls how things go. They know the stage when a girl gets to 15 or 14, how her body's going to change and how people are going to react to her. They know all the stages. You know because what? You know behind all the boys, there's the girls that are the ones that they're chasing.
And I like when you said mothers and their daughters. My daughter's 29 and I don't think she wears anything above the knee. She's 29 years old.
That's the way it should be brought. But if the mother set the example...
She told me it was her mum. She grew up in America, but she said, Dad, if it wasn't for her mum and her grandma... Yeah, that kept her on that road and said, this is what you need to do. She said she could have been like a lot of the other children. Drop out at school, because America's different. Yeah, so I'm really proud of her mum and her late grandmother, and I'm proud of my daughter as well, how she's come from America, and some youths are like, what, unks, is that your daughter? Can I chat to her? You know, she's turned around and said to them, you need to pull up your jeans. And they're like, but you're from America. She's like, I don't care. You can't talk to me with your jeans down like that. She's told young men. She's told young men. Sorry, very quickly, this will be my last word. She's told young men, you like me? Can you be like my dad?
Okay.
That's what my daughter would say. If you can be like my dad, then you are so special. Because my dad don't do this, he does this, he don't do that, he does this, he does that. So as you said, we need to be setting real examples to our...
A man has got to set an example for his daughter.
Yep.
Because that's the man that she's lived with most of her life. And that's the man that she's most comfortable living with. So if the man is a bad man or is not there, what is he expecting different from his daughter? Because she's going to look for the same type of guy. And he can't judge if that's how he lives.
And let's not get it twisted. As Natural Mystic said, we got fathers in our community abusing their daughters. Yeah, but this is real.
It is very sad what it is, because again, the young boys are over-sexualized. You know, this whole, because they know that once you're lost in your sexual needs, you don't think. All of a sudden, you know the old saying with, you got one, that down there's got one eye that don't see too good. You know, and the guy...
I've never heard that one before.
People don't think when they're in that state. What?
That's not saying that's a new one to both of us.
Yeah, that's an old one, But yeah, and so guys don't think. When they're caught in that level, all of a sudden their thinking mind shuts down. And if they can keep you at a heightened sexual state, you're so easy to be manipulated. So they just put a woman in front of you that she, because it's something we teach about how there's a magnetic frequency to certain organs of the body.
All right, Edison, listen to this one. In the role that I play, I've had conversations with our young black princes, kings, our young black boys, and they've said to me, Unks, you know what? If I can sleep with her on the first night, she's a skit. But if I don't get nothing, that's wife material. So I'm like, is your mum a skit? Is your sister a skit? And I'm like, listen, be mindful that you grew up to have 5 girl children, and that's how you're talking about. And it gives them, I try to give them humorous food to think about.
Exactly. Because the guy at 14, 15 ain't thinking with his brain. And like what you said, he's doing that, someone's going to do that to your sister, mate. And you wouldn't want that happen to your sister.
No.
But you break it down that this is real, you know?
Edison, before you leave, your final couple of words, please.
Okay, I've really enjoyed today. The young man that came on gave me food to think of how people think.
Okay.
Again, not all the time that we're attached to people at that age and how they speak and how they communicate and what they're trying to say. So I enjoyed it very much. As far as what we're coming from and the stuff we're doing, if people can come out on Saturday or look me up on Facebook on Ancestral Essence, and they're going to see that, you know, inside us.
What's it called? Ancestral Essence, yeah?
Essence. Yeah,
Ancestral
inside us, there's something missing. Everyone's searching for something. The thing they're searching for is themselves, and it's been locked away inside them, waiting to come out. It's the thing that makes you want to be spiritual, because you want to understand yourself. And there's ways in which we can help you to get to that point where you shut out all the nonsense conversations that you have in your head. And when you find out that what they say is an ancestor supposed to be, is just, I always ask a mother, she says, what's my ancestor? I say, when you die, do you want to go and look after your kids? She goes, of course. I said, that's what an ancestor is.
Thank you very much for your time this morning, Edison. And hopefully we can get you back on there at some point, or maybe
when you're ready, my
you
friend.
and Jammers live in the studio.
We can find our way down there.
Just tell me what you want to eat, and I'll make sure I'll cook it and bring it beforehand. I'll make some pretty nice natural smoothies, actually.
Okay, brother, we'll take you up on that.
Yeah, man, and I've always got some nuts or some fig bananas, or there's always something going on. So you'll be well fed.
That's the right way.
Yeah?
Okay, excellent, brother.
Yeah,
when you're ready.
Thank you for your energy today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
Have a great
thank
day.
You.
Have a great day.
I will, and you as
See you on Saturday, Edison. Yeah, see you on Saturday.
See you Saturday, John. See you later. All right. Take care. Thanks. Bye.
Oh yeah, forgot. Also, Blessed Radio is in the house as well, so it's unity all the way, you know.
Unity. We had
Mystic Radio. Yeah, Mystic Radio.
Blessed Radio.
I almost forgot I got my show this afternoon, you know. I've been it's been really a great experience.
So it's not about the station I work on is better. We have to work together on this. I always say it. us as community stations, we have to parent some of the children for the parents. We have a responsibility.
We have to lead by example.
Yeah, we have a responsibility. Look at 30 years old.
Wow, I was learning from him. I wish I had a notebook with me today.
I'm like, wow. But as I said, his uncle's Bob El Numero Uno. I can't remember what his dad's name is, but he's well known. You might as well say a born Garveyite, and what else did he say?
Milan is that federation, isn't it?
Yeah, a born Garveyite, and he mentioned a federation. So, Jammers, a final couple of words.
I'll just say, wow, it's just been. I haven't slept since 12 o'clock yesterday, and the energy's still going. So it's a pleasure. I'll be glad to come back down there again. Just to mention as well, I've set up the Speakers Club, so it's to encourage, especially young people, to get together and speak. And I've given you a couple of tickets, so you can promote that. Also, we're doing a Saturday school for youngsters and up to the age of sort of early teenagers.
What would that be?
That's going to be in Turnpike Lane, Afro-Caribbean Centre down there.
When will that
that's starting from the 14th. That's starting April the 14th, and it's from 11 till 2. I believe it's a £5 charge. £5 charge.
Well, I'm not being funny, yeah, but for some families, say they might have 3 or 4 children.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we can work something out still, because that's what it's about. And I'll be doing the Medunetcha, because I don't think that's been done before.
Can you explain a little bit?
The Medunetcha is your nature, how you are the master of your nature. It's how they take a wild animal and turn it into a tame animal. How you have the power to take it to create the feeling that you want to act out for the day. You know, you've got times with the day when everything felt great. You can bring that feeling from the past and make it present. Present means pre-sense. That means you sense something into the future.
You know what I say to a lot of my friends when they're like, oh, well, I'm up in age now. I said, what do you like doing that you used to do when you was young? Is that what? Why can't you do it now? What, you like swimming? You like walking? You like football? Why can't you do that now?
Yeah, time is a con game. It's a con game, because if you can think about the past and you can think about the future, you can bring those feelings into action now. You see, we've got the power to create the habits and not let somebody else make habits for us to follow.
The book,
Etymology, the Roots of Words.
Where is it available?
Well, I'm going to give out the number. People can text me, and as soon as I get the copies,
you see, with me, because my daughter's 9-year-old intellect, if I buy a book for myself, I buy 2, 1 for her.
Right. Okay.
So I need to get
I'm going to speed up. I'm going to speed up. I get those books, and plus, what I do as well, when anybody buys a book, they get an hour's free tuition. I'll come anywhere to go there. It's not about a money thing. So, so anybody.
We like freeness. An hour's free tuition if you purchase the book. How much is the book?
The book is £18, but it retails at 20. It's fully coloured. Every page is big text, fully coloured. It's not the rice paper where the words are so small you can't see what you're reading.
So, all right, I'm going to be real now. So even if you say, I'm going to buy the book, and you put it down and don't read it, imagine you can get an hour's class for £18 of some awesome teachings.
That's what it's about. It's about the young mind. That's what it is. And I said, nobody's teaching them the Medunetcha. They go to with that knowledge. They're just going to excel. What it is as well, I went to teach, but I didn't have the qualifications. They assessed me, because I said, well, what do you do then? I said, I've developed a language system. I said, turn TIP the other way, TIP the other way around. One of the lecturers couldn't do it. They put me on the test. Long story short, they assessed me, and I got 85% at A level. And I've not even been in a lesson before. Not been in no school, no teaching.
There you go.
So it's just a study of the sounds and the grammar.
I tell you, this morning has been so powerful, and I'm going to have to do it again. As I said, I'm not a talk show, but this is serious times now.
This is action.
And if the actions is taking over the music, I'm sorry, UK artists, for today, but so be it, so be it. Thank you very much, Jammers. He's going to give out the number for the book.
As I say, solution quickly, as you said. If you can't do something and somebody else is doing something, give them 100% support. No matter how imperfect you think, at least they're doing some support action, like the gang. Support them, And the number step is to see everybody as family. If you're, as you were saying, if you're hurt, I'm hurt. If you have no money, I have no money. Until we start to see all of us as one, we won't have the solution, but that is the solution, so let's just do it.
Because as Jammers said, let's be real. No matter whether you're black, jet light, midnight, brown, look like, is he mixed race, is he this or is that? The first thing that other people see is black skin.
That's right.
So we are all the same. Don't get it twisted.
But let's provide food, shelter, and educate ourselves. We can always argue after that.
Yes.
Let's do that first, and then we can argue afterwards.
We can argue about it. And just before I go, I was meant to get Oban on the line, and it's Black People Giving, written by Emmanuel Daldu. And Black BPG is not just a charity, it's a love-based system which will continue to fill the gaps that our money-based system failed to fulfill, as Jammers said earlier on, driven by money. I heard an Englishman on LBC. I don't listen to LBC anymore, but something told me to, you see, it's all the money. They see something out there that someone else has got, and they want to go out and get it, these young people, and they're prepared to do it by any means necessary, you know what I mean? So a lot of it's driven by the money. They've been sold, what he said, they've been sold a false flag, isn't it? That money's everything, and you need all these nice stuff. Yeah? He's like, my mum used to whack me around. I was frightened of my mum, so I could kind of relate to him in certain things.
It's called econ money, because he cons you with the money.
Econ money.
Yeah, when you say some words slower, you find out the real meaning behind it.
And I'm always saying to people, break down the word. I mean, the other day, because I'm always saying to people, what do you mean partner? You do business together. Then the other day I looked on the word partner. I broke it down. Part.
You just want the part, you want the body part, you want the arm, and then where do you live? You live in an apartment. Ment means mind. So basically you're going for the body part that you want, and when you see the other bits, the reality kicks in, and that's when you don't want the rest.
Well, thank you very much. If you didn't know, this wasn't arranged. I met him at the underground.
Underground, you know.
Yeah, and I don't want to hear no one say, boy, that was no, it wasn't no coincidence. Yeah, and then he's saying that Jammers is saying that Natural Mystic is here, and he reasoned with him on Tuesday night.
Out of all the people in the group, I spoke to about 2 people,
and he was one of them.
And that's the first time I've spoken to him.
So I've come out as saying coincidence a long time ago.
But the thing about it is, co means together. You see how they treat the words co. You've come together in a density. So it's a natural thing, like co-pilot, cooperate, collaborate.
It's a word to use then.
Yeah, they twist, they give you the opposite meaning. As I said before, beauty, which they show you to be like somebody else, means be, and that's one of the biggest words, especially our women. They want to look beautiful. Look at the word beauty. Be auti. Auti means auto. Be yourself. So beauty means to be yourself, but they show you everybody else, and it creates autism. Is when you can't relate to who you are with everybody else. So they reverse the words.
I'll tell you today, I'm just, you know what? The energy's so bad, I feel drunk.
Yeah, I don't even feel like I want to move anywhere. I
just feel drunk, and I really got to go. But you know what? This will continue. We might have other speakers. But listen, now on a serious
I just give out my number, I forgot. Yeah. Anybody wants to get in the speakers club, take their children to classes or the book, text me on 07497 069 702. Once again, 07497 069 702. Or just stay tuned to this show and you'll get all the information.
Well, I've actually first heard you on Supreme's More Knowledge
Right, okay.
talk show. I listen to a lot of people, but it's when people say them little things that just grabs me and stays in my memory. Yeah. My memory.
Yes, right. We're memories, you know.
Yeah.
And remember, a member is a part of an organisation. So when you can fixate where something's placed, and it stays. Listen means the list that you put in you. So that you shouldn't really be teaching your children, educate the children, teach them how to memorize. Once a child can memorize, they can everything.
I'll go into a shop. Before the Asian shopkeeper's giving me my change, which is going to be wrong, with some foreign, I know how much my change is. Because we didn't have calculators.
Perfect.
And my mum always taught me about mental memory, always wear a watch, son, and you know, if I do have to write something on a computer, I'm going to write it out first, even if it's 5,000 words. It's just a habit.
Perfect, yeah.
It's just habit. Memories. I'm useless with a paintbrush, though.
And look at the word read. Read means to go back to see what's been added. It's in the word read.
Re-add.
Yeah.
Simple.
So they've added something to it. Don't take everything at face value.
Very quickly, what about names that we have, surnames?
Well, sir, because I was representing a young mother. They wanted to take the mother away from the child away from the mother, and I went to the Royal Justice Courts of Justice, and they asked me my surname, I just, sir, I don't serve no sir. And they just put their heads down. I couldn't believe it, because sir means who you're under. Surface, survive. Sir means what you're under. So when the surname was the slave master's name, who you served under, who you become. So when when they call themselves a sir, they say they're above you. Sir backwards is rise. You see. So
what about people who are saying to me, sir means slave I remain?
Well, you see, you can make acronyms out of it.
Okay.
So you can make acronyms out of it, but the root word is what the reality is.
Fact.
Yeah, the fact.
As DJ Anivis would say, actual fact, not belief.
But fact is not something that's given to. Fact is something that you can make. So you can make a fact. If you smoke today, you can make it a fact that you don't smoke tomorrow. Like in a factory, that's a lie. Facts is something that you can make. It's not something that's fixed. You can make your facts today. Tomorrow, I'm going to run 10 miles today. That is a fact. So you can create your own reality.
Powerful stuff. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The brother says he ain't slept from 12 o'clock yesterday, but you see the energy. You see the ancestors.
Do another show today now.
The ancestors said, yeah, he's got to do this, and he's got another show to do this afternoon. He looks a little tired, but not like tired man that's had 9 hours sleep. So thank you very much, my brother.
And thank you. And I've got to big up the organisation, the Tuesday thing. That's the start of the revolution. Next revolution is the revolution of the mind. Don't get left behind.
And as I said, I'm prepared to police the streets. We go in, we take the weapons off the young people, yeah, and we're going to embrace them and hopefully try and turn some lives around, you know. My thing, people always said to me, how do you work with young people? It's so difficult. And I've always said to them, if I can make a change in one young person's life, that's money can't, yeah, and I've got to realise I've made the change in very many, you know, so it's for me, very rewarding in that aspect, you know. So thank you very much, listeners. I know we've had some technical difficulties, but hopefully we're going to fix up the machine, and because this is serious, yeah. Radio station, link up. Bless FM, Mystic was in the house with Natural Mystic. Stevie Marshall, Conscious Radio signing out. I'll be here Monday between the hours of 7 and who knows when. And I'll be talking to my sister Shaushani at some point about the foods and the chemicals in the foods and how it's affecting our young people. And it's serious. People tell me I'm chatting nonsense. Give your child a right beaner and see how they're acting in 20 minutes time. Have a great day, people. I love you like good food.